Stand up for your dreams. To thine own self be true. So last week, we began a two-part series. Last week, we talked about getting to the heart of our dreams. And I want to remind you how we began, because I think it sets the tone. It set the tone last week. I wanted to set the tone for us tonight, since this is part two. And since some of you weren't here last week. And I figured even of those of you who were here last week, you could bear hearing this again. Because I don't think we can hear what I'm about to say too much. What I said last week was that talking about creating our dreams, talking about going for our heart's desires, talking about doing that which makes our hearts sing, might seem a little frivolous in the environment that is in our world right now. May seem like that's not really that important right now, Michele. We got important stuff happening, and some of the things that are happening are scary. And there's chaos, and there's fear, and there's all sorts of things running amok among us. And I know that there are people in this room, because you've told me that there's fear and some anger and lots of different emotions that are happening right now. And I believe that it's really important to feel our feelings, so I don't want us to ever spiritually bypass. I love that term. We don't ever want to spiritually bypass our emotions. But at the same time, we don't want to stop, build a condo, and take up residence in them either. That doesn't serve anyone, and it certainly doesn't serve us. So in order for us not to take up residence, it is imperative, and this is the part that I want us all to hear for the first time or again, it's imperative that we anchor back into the fundamental principles that we teach in unity, in religious science, in divine science, and all the other myriad of new thought centers and churches and teaching chapters around the world. Now, there are a lot of fundamental principles. I'm not going to go over all of them. That would be 3 talks in themselves, and that's not where we're going tonight. But I want to anchor into a couple that then lead us straight into why I think talking about manifesting our dreams absolutely is critically important right now. Because we need to anchor into these so that when push comes to shove, we don't abandon them. We don't forget them. We let them be our guiding lights. This is going to stop us from building that condo and taking residence up in some of those feelings that we're having. So here's some fundamental beliefs that I want us to reaffirm tonight. And the first and foremost is we believe that there is one power, one presence, and that is called lots of different names. But today, for shorthand, we're going to call it God. How's that? We all know that term. We've heard it before a couple of times. We can call it spirit. We can call it source. We can call it universe. We can call it energy. We can call it flow. We can call it Howard. You know, Howard be thy name. You've heard that story, right? That's so old and so bad. I'm sorry. But it doesn't matter what you call it. There is one power and one presence, and it is the power and presence of love and of good and of life. There's not God and, there's not life and, there's not love and something else. There is nothing else. Anchor into that. The second part of that, because God is all there is and there's nothing else, that means that everything is a manifestation of God. That means you and you and you and you and you and I and every one of us is God in expression, God in human form. Now, one of the challenges with that is a lot of people don't know that. And they're lost. But we at least know it because we hear it all the time here at this church. We know it, but do we know it? There is a difference between knowing it and knowing it. Tonight, I'm hoping we get a little deeper in the knowing. So, because we are God in expression, those dreams that are planted in us, and whether it's what we would call a small little something that we desire to do or be or have or express or share or give, or something that seems so big it's out of reach, anywhere in there, guess how that got planted in us? By whom did that get planted in us? Thank you. I was really hoping somebody would answer that question, and I love the answer that you gave. It got planted there by Howard. As in Howard, be thy name. Right. It got planted there by the God of our being. So when we are living our dreams, we are expressing our divine nature. And my friends, the world needs people right now who are expressing their divine nature. Can I get an amen on that? Thank you. So that is why we are going to talk about, for the second time, living our dreams. If you were here last week, you will recall that we used the word dream as an acronym. So here is, and this I'm going to invite congregant participation here. I used to love to do this when I had a center a couple of moons ago. I used to throw chocolate out when people would get the right answers, but this is way too big a sanctuary to try to do that. So I'm not doing that. Don't get, those of you who are in my congregation, I know, darn it, I see some of you out there, no chocolate's coming, but, an add a girl, add a boy for getting the answer. So, here we go, real quick. We're using dreams as an acronym. What does the D stand for? Who remembers? Desire your dreams, I love it, not it. I heard it back there, deserve. Deserve your dreams. Number one, deserve your dreams. Number two is the R. R, here's a hint. Thank you. I guess I'm going to do some pantomime up here tonight. Reach for your dreams through focused action, while E, the E of dreams is, what are you doing while you're reaching? You got it, way in the back. Good job. Expect the best. Oh, look at that. Yeah. So we deserve our dreams. We reach for them through focused action while expecting the best. And then we act. I love that. Oh, you just went ahead of me. Got. But what did it stand for? Do you know? Align. Align with source. Align with Howard. Align with the divine. Align. And then the M stood for Michele. No, that wasn't it, but it could be. I like that, though. It stands for manifest, which means that when we do DREA, then God manifests our dreams. And by the way, my friends, that is actually out of our hands. We have no control, darn it, over the manifestation part. That is in God's realm of responsibility, not ours. So last week I had a beautiful young woman come up to me after service and say, I've added an S. And there she is right back there. I'm so happy that you're here. I've added an S to your acronym. So I'm going to use this in the future, by the way, if I may. Good, she's giving me a thumbs up. She said, I've added an S to your acronym because in order for the divine to manifest our dreams, there's something we must do, and it starts with an S, and it is surrender. Bingo. We must surrender. Exactly. So thank you for that. I'll give you credit. This beautiful woman at Unity added that to my dream acronym. So, right, last week we didn't do all of those letters. We skipped one because I said it's so big, it needs a whole talk. So we're going to zip past it tonight and we'll take it next week. Now we're at next week, and that's the A, which is align with source, align with God, align with the divine. So tonight's talk is entitled Realigning Our Hearts, or we could simply say align with the divine. You know, we often talk a good game about having these dreams and goals and desires, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and then some time passes, and then some more time passes, and then more time passes, and perhaps even years pass, and we don't actually do it. And then we think, and some of you may be right now in this position, we might think, well, it's kind of too late. I've missed the boat for that one. And maybe if you wanted to be a ballerina or a ballet dancer and you're now 75, perhaps you did miss that boat. It's highly possible you missed that boat, but there's another boat that is related to that dream that you haven't missed. And so what I want to tell you is if you have the attitude that you've missed the boat on any of your dreams, I don't want to point it at you. I'm going to say if we, because I put myself in there as well. If we think we've missed the boat, we're out of alignment. Uh-oh. If we feel we don't deserve our dreams, we're out of alignment. If we don't think our dreams can happen, we're out of alignment. If we're afraid to reach for them with focused action, we are. If we let ourselves get so caught up in conditions and circumstances that we go unconscious to our dreams, one more time, and you guys are good, thank you, I love it. And if you don't remember anything else I say tonight, if nothing else sticks except the thing I'm about to say, I will feel like I have done my job. So I want you right now to poke somebody and go, pay attention, because this is going to be really good. Go ahead. Pay attention. Pay attention. This is going to be really good. Are you ready? Okay. Nothing is more important than alignment. Nothing is more important than alignment, no matter what you see or what you hear. That might sound kind of familiar because it was actually the basis of our opening affirmation, which was, I stay aligned with God no matter what I see or what I hear. I'd like us to say that again, could we? I stay aligned with God no matter what I see or what I hear. And when we stay aligned with God, we stay aligned with our dreams. When we stay aligned with God, we stay aligned with our dreams. So tonight, we're going to look at how to catch ourselves when we start to get out of alignment. How to know when we're getting out of alignment. And then I'm going to give you three ideas for getting back into alignment when you realize you've gotten a little bit off track. So that's our plan. Does that sound like a good plan? Are you good with that plan? That's a good thing, because I don't have another one. I don't have plan B. This is my only plan I have. So I'm glad you're okay with it. Thank goodness, right? So the first thing we really have to do is pay attention and discover when we have moved out of alignment. We can't be unconscious. I love the Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. He once said, "Stand guard the portal of your mind." And that simply means pay attention. Don't go on automatic pilot. So I've said already, I won't say them all, but like we just went over, if we think we've missed the boat, if we think we don't deserve our dreams, if we're afraid to go for them, all of those things are out of alignment. There's lots of indicators that we're out of alignment. But there's one very simple yet profound way to absolutely know that we're out of alignment. There's one simple and yet profound way to know when we're out of alignment. Would you like to know what it is? Oh, good. Please. Yes, I'd be happy to tell you that. We don't feel good. Oh, we don't feel good. Now, I don't mean physically, but it actually might manifest that way. But I do mean more emotionally. We're not feeling good emotionally. If we are not feeling good emotionally, we are out of alignment. Now remember, I said we don't want to spiritually bypass our feelings. We want to feel them, but we also don't want to hang out there forever. We want to get ourselves back in alignment. So conversely, to know if you are in alignment, you feel good. Now, I want to be clear. It's not necessarily, and I wrote this out and I really want to say it correctly, so I'm going to read this. It may not be the Yahoo, yippee, jump up and down, turn somersaults, do the end zone, just made a touchdown, happy dance kind of feel good. But instead, feeling settled, feeling calm, feeling at peace, feeling secure, feeling centered, feeling anchored, feeling strong, feeling hopeful, Those are feelings that say, oh yes, I am in alignment. So first we must realize when we're not in alignment. And yes, give ourselves some time perhaps to feel those feelings of unalignment that we're feeling. But then take some steps to get back. And that's the rest of what we're going to talk about tonight. How do we get back? There are lots of ways, but I'm going to give you 3 ideas tonight. And the first one, we've also already actually had an opportunity to experience it a couple of times. I did that on purpose tonight in our opening prayer, in our meditation. It is to remember who we are. Remember who we are. It is so easy to forget who we are. There was a little girl in Sunday school, and she was drawing a picture, and her Sunday school teacher came up to her and said, "Now, honey, what are you drawing?" And the little girl said, "I'm drawing a picture of God." And the teacher said, "Well, sweetheart, nobody knows what God looks like." Without missing a beat, that little girl said, "Well, they will after they see my picture." So I want you right now to imagine, I want you to put your hand up like this to your face. And I want you to imagine that this is a mirror. And you are looking in a mirror. My friends, that's what God looks like. Right there. Right there. You. Turn and look at somebody else. That's what God looks like. Right there. We need to remember that. God is not separate from you, but expressing as each and every one of you and me and everyone. And I said before, not everybody knows that, but we say we do. So let's live into that. And if we're feeling out of alignment, we're not living into that. So let's shift. I love this quote from Dr. Ernest Holmes in a book called 365 Science of Mind. We must come to the realization that God is not in some far-off place, but instead that God is an inward, intimate presence closer to us than our very breath. God is not nor can ever be separated from us, but too often we separate ourselves from God. But always and in all ways, the source of all creation, the source of all life, lives as you and stands at the ready to bring through you the manifestation of your heart's desires. But we have to align consciously with that truth in order for that to happen. Dr. Michael Beckwith, some of you may have heard that name, a very powerful spiritual leader in our movement, said, "There is only one power and one presence everywhere present. When you consciously align yourself with the one life that is humbly and joyously running the universe," I love that line, "you then realize that you are never walking alone. You are moving through your life in league with the infinite." Oh, breathe into that. That is so juicy. When you consciously align with the one life, you move through life in league with the infinite. So this is rhetorical, you don't have to answer it. Although, Jeannie, you certainly may, because you've answered every one of my questions so far, so feel free to go right ahead. What is your spiritual practice that helps you realign, that helps you remember? Maybe it's prayer, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's putting on powerful music, such as we heard tonight, and we'll hear again. Maybe it's being in nature. Maybe it's having rich, deep conversations, spiritual conversations with friends. Maybe it's coming to church. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's all of those. And maybe it's something else. But whatever it is, whatever your go-to is, do you go to it when you're feeling out of alignment? And my encouragement for you tonight is that you do. That you remind yourself to go to your go-to. and get yourself back in alignment. So that's one way. Actually, I think all three that I'm going to tell you will build on each other. So I don't think it's just do one of them. I think it's do all of them to really get us anchored in alignment and anchored in our dreams. So the second way, and when I say that, you're going to go, oh yeah, here we go. We talk about this all the time. I'm so bored with this topic. Except I know there's one person in the room who will not be bored with this topic. My little friend sitting right there. And it's gratitude. Be in gratitude. But why? I want to talk about why. Because gratitude is more than just a warm and fuzzy feeling. Although it is that, and it's great, but it's more than that. Gratitude is a causative energy. A causative energy and a powerful spiritual practice that aligns us with the divine of our being and with our ability to create our dreams. So what do I mean by a causative energy? Well, it is fundamental principle here in Unity and in other New Thought denominations that like attracts like, right? We believe that like attracts like. What we put out there, we call back. Well, when we're in gratitude, we're focusing on what we appreciate and what we are grateful for, and then we attune our hearts and our minds to that, and then guess what? We attract back more of that yummy, good stuff. So when we're in gratitude, we shift our vibration, literally shift our energetic vibration to align with God's greater good for us and through us and as us, which includes the manifestation of our dreams. And if you want to do something really, really powerful and really amp up your gratitude, if you want to put your gratitude on steroids, here's how to do it. Be grateful in advance, before the thing that you want, before the dream that you desire to express or experience. Before that happens, be grateful for it. I call that pre-gratitude. So live in pre-gratitude. That is a really turbocharged way of getting yourself in alignment. You know, when Jesus fed the 5,000, and by the way, I just have to do a tiny bit of an aside here. So the Bible says, these are the words, I looked it up today to make sure I got them right, that there were 5,000 men besides women and children. That's what the scripture says. There were 5,000 men besides women and children. I find it a little offensive that when anyone ever preaches about this or speaks of this miracle, it's always feeding of the 5,000. Well, did the women and children not get fed as well? I think they probably did. So it is not the feeding of 5,000. It's the feeding of, 10, 12,000, some big number. But when Jesus looked at a few fish, 2 fish, and 5 loaves of bread, you all may know the scripture, you know what happened. He looked up and he gave thanks. Was he giving thanks for the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish? Yeah, probably. But he was doing more than that. He was giving thanks for the ability of these 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to be able to feed this throng of thousands of people. That is pre-gratitude. And pre-gratitude creates miracles in our lives. So I'm going to take just a moment and just really briefly have a little gratitude exercise. Are you up for that? Yes, good. I'm so glad 3 of you are. Good. So close your, I know you did, but you were one of the 3 that I heard. No, there was more. I'm just joking. Close your eyes for a moment. Just close your eyes. And I want you to feel deep, profound gratitude for something that is in fact in your life. And to make it really apply tonight, maybe it is a dream that you had that you have now manifested. Could be that beautiful partner that you have in your life now that you so wanted. It could be a healing of your physical body. It could be, a financial situation that turned itself around. Whatever it might be, it could be you know, you found the sale that you were hoping for and got your beautiful red shoes at a discount. I don't know, whatever. Remember, big or small, there is no such thing in the divine. So just feel really grateful for something, preferably a dream, that has already manifested. I'm going to be quiet now so you can actually do that. Bring it in. Feel the excitement. Feel the gratitude. And then I want us to engage in some pre-gratitude. I want you to think of a dream that you have that has not yet made itself known in this earthly form. It's not yet here physically in your life. I want you to do the end zone, I just made a touchdown happy dance in your mind of gratitude for that manifesting, as if it already has. Pre-gratitude is all about it already has. So feel that right now. And just take a pause to notice how you feel right now. Notice how you feel. Give yourselves a little metaphorical pat on the back. Take a breath. Open your eyes. Come back. There's a bonus to being grateful. And the bonus to being grateful is it shifts our awareness to the now moment, to the present moment, which just coincidentally happens to be our third way to get into alignment. Live in the present moment. How often, rhetorical question, or you can answer it, but how often does your mind visit the past with regret or unhappiness, or you're mulling over that conversation that you really wish you'd had with that person, and now you're thinking of the words you should have said, but you didn't say them, and you're upset with yourself because you didn't say them, and they really do need to hear those words, but they never are, but going to hear it, but you really, in your mind, you're having that conversation. Anybody? Yeah, we've done that. We're in the past. We're in the past. That's not present moment awareness. Or we're projecting out there, and often our projections are, woe is me, what's going to happen, I don't know, I'm scared, or what if it doesn't, I really want this thing, but what if it doesn't, what am I going to do, I don't like that. Again, not present moment. Out of alignment. Both of those places are out of alignment. You want to come back into alignment, come back to this now moment, because guess what? It is only in this now moment that the divine is. Because God knows nothing more than this now moment. There was a spiritual teacher who once asked her students, "Where do you think heaven is?" And one student pointed to the sky, and one student pointed to his heart. And the teacher smiled and said, "Well, both answers are right. But heaven is also where your feet are standing, if you choose to see it." Staying aligned with God means embracing the now, right where your feet are standing. Living in the present moment is more than a mindfulness practice. That's a big buzzword. It has been for a long time. Mindfulness, it's important, it's good, but it's more than that. Being in the present moment is like a gateway to spiritual realization. It's a gateway to realigning with God and realigning with infinite intelligence and divine creativity, which will bring about our dreams. The present moment is the only place you can align with that. I ran across this beautiful quote, and it was a long time ago. I recently rediscovered it. I can't remember who said it, so it's going to be mine, but I'm going to read it because I like it. Ultimately, when we cultivate present moment awareness, we cultivate God awareness, and we step into our true power as conscious co-creators, shaping a life that is not only fulfilling, but also a reflection of the divine unfolding through us. So I want to give you a very simple, so simple it seems like it can't make any difference in the world, but I promise you it does, and it's backed by a ton of scientific research we could discuss at some other time, but a very simple practice for bringing yourself into the present moment. And it is doing anything where you pay attention, exquisite, focused, singular attention to a physical sensation. There's brain science, it actually shifts your brain chemistry. If you're interested in learning more about it, it's called Positive Intelligence. There's a book, there's a website, it's really fascinating stuff. I'm a coach in it, I love it. Talk to me if you want to know. But let me tell you, the way to get into the present moment is to focus singularly on a physical sensation, such as, we're all going to do this right now, put your forefinger and your thumb together, and you're going to roll them, and you're going to focus exclusively on the feeling, the physical feeling. Try to feel your fingerprints. Where are you right now? Are you in the past? Not if you're paying attention to this. Are you in the future? Not if you're paying attention to this. You are right here in this present moment. Okay, you can stop now. That little practice, though, and any other practice where you focus on a physical sensation, like this, will get your mind out of the past, out of the future, and into this present moment awareness. So there we have it. The last 2 weeks, we've explored in depth getting to the heart of our dreams by embracing and embodying the idea that you do deserve it, by making the commitment to R, reach through focused action, while E, expecting the best, and then aligning A with source by noticing when you're out of alignment, and when you notice, to get back in by one or all of the 3 things we talked about. Remember who you are, live in gratitude and pre-gratitude, and get to the present moment so that the universe can move your dreams into manifestation. And to let that happen, you gotta surrender. One final time, I want to say our affirmation for today. As a reminder, I'll say it, a bit of it first, and then you go. I stay aligned with God. All right, let's try that again. I stay aligned with God, no matter what I see or hear. And as I stay aligned with God, I align with my dreams. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.